Bo back? Yeah, Bobo is back. All right.
Oh, I was saying clever things. Oh well.
Oh, you were muted.
Oh, what are you saying?
You were muted. Say him again. What was it?
We'll build a wall of froghemus around the Earth to protect it.
Oh, I love it.
Called the Frogtron program.
Who will pay for it?
Aw.
Just kidding. We won't get into politics.
Tony
here.
Starkenstein.
Oh,
Pixies.
Tony Starkenstein. All right, we're back. We're in the throat, and Bo has the
the four of you are hanging onto the side of the trachea. The pool of bile below you, and the sounds of wet drip, bloop, 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 as mucus drips on the side all along the throat.
Gross.
My glorious companions, we meet again.
I wish it were under better circumstances.
When I was eaten, we were many feet in the air. So as we exit, we must all be together for Stanley's slow falling.
Hold on. I'm just going to make sure that that's something I can even cast.
Or that'll even work with all this pixie shit everywhere.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm afraid to use any spells. I made a lot
I
of
can
chickens.
cast a spell at a higher level than what it's listed at, right?
Not all spells work that way. If the spell specifies, then yes.
Oh, no, we'll be fine. That'll be fine. Yeah, we can.
Are we in any danger of slipping right now, or are we free to...
You all have a firm grip on the side at the moment. Hope has her metal arm just locked right in there. It feels tenuous. It's not solid, the sides.
Yeah.
You have your hand in very goopy, mucusy substance that coats the lining of the trachea.
Good thing I can't feel anything.
Trachea should be strong, though. Just hang on.
What seems to be the problem, gentlemen?
There's no drink.
Had a plan for Multi-Vorel and Big Vorel.
There appears to be something interfering with magic. And I don't know if it was exclusive to where we were before, because we're not there anymore, but it seems to be anything near or around this creature. Probably something to do with all of the pixies we've been eating, or that this creature has been eating, and that we've had to fight. So all I've been able to produce is chickens, a small orchestra band, and what was the third thing I made? Oh, and this arm, and I pull my thing back and show this little baby hand, and it waves.
The baby arm waves.
Yeah.
God, what is that?
I don't know. It came there while I was trying to cast a firebolt. It's been there since. I control it like it's not a intelligence of its own. I can control it with my mind, just like you would any hand. But it appears to be the hand of a child, a baby, in fact.
We need out of this place. I'm done. I'm out of the. I'm out.
I have to say, it's comforting to have a being back in where Pod used to be, and I look sullen and sad.
Hope's just gonna shake her head. There's a bar at the end of this somewhere.
Nope, I'm with Hope.
When we make you queen, you can open many new bars. This is your journey, Hope. Looking down at her while holding on to this creature. This is your climax.
Girl,
we will
this
land
is
upon the
your
throne.
climax.
It's all of ours. This is a glorious moment.
And we will share.
I think it's a glorious moment for others, perhaps more than some.
You must look inside yourself. You've relied on magic too long, Stanley. Nash, we must think with our hands and our muscles. I have started a hole, a fine hole, at the base of the stomach, and if we can find it, we can evacuate the creature.
It may be the only chance we have. Our magic is no good here. I don't think Stanley's is either.
But what about the pixies down there?
Yes, we must be careful, because if we have any cuts or scrapes, we will not only melt in the stomach oozes, we will become extremely high.
Yeah. Varel's right, but I don't know how we get from here to that hole, and how do we know where that hole is? There's a giant frog we're in.
don't truly know. But I can take a guess, and we could dig if we can nullify the stomach. Any ideas?
I shoot things.
Okay, excellent.
I do magic.
Yes. Questionable magic as it may be now, we can use that to our advantage. So far, we have seen many different things. Perhaps a pillow of chickens to fall upon, or we take our chances with the mystical winds.
Yeah, well, I say Nash uses his. I'm not gonna risk growing an extra arm out of my back.
The point is it's unpredictable. We could do something now that might work great. The only thing that worked was the rope. That's from the cloak. Perhaps there's something else on this cloak that we could use. If we want to launch a riding horse with saddlebags down here, like
not a horrible idea.
While Ash is speaking, the baby hand is like tapping the side of his cheek.
What? Does it talk to?
No. It's just tapping.
It's just tapping
like
me.
a baby. It just acts like a baby sometimes that you willing it. You know, it just does weird things like touching and.
All right, I reach into my pocket, and while I'm holding on for dear life here, I reach one hand into my pocket. I pull out the tiefling tailbone, and I say, "Play with this." And the baby hand it to the baby. It's like a little rattle.
The baby hand takes it.
Okay.
Grips it, shakes it.
Doing like
Well,
this with it.
The horse would give
Hope
us something
is
to land
horrified.
It's not
And
supposed
she's
to have its
thinking
own.
she might let go.
It's not supposed to have its own consciousness, though. I don't think, right, Bo? You said earlier it was just me controlling it.
No,
so
it's you controlling it, but it seems to move involuntarily every now and then. Apparently.
okay, all right. But anyway, I mean, I've still got stuff. I've got a portable ram or a rowboat. Perhaps the rowboat will get us through this system of intestines and goo and matter, so that we can find this hole that Burrell worked so hard on and keep ourselves out of the goo. I don't know. I'm just saying that's all I've got magic-wise that I think will work because the rope worked.
The boat is an interesting idea. It may melt in the stomach, but it would allow us to find the sphincter, in which we could then get lost in the minds of its intestines and eventually find the anus.
Wait, I thought we were going for the hole you made. You didn't make the anus, right?
No, but that one would be perhaps more accessible than my hole, which lies at the bottom of an acid pool, and we would have to somehow reach and continue digging for.
You succeeded in creating the physical manifestation of an old saying we had in the solar mines. We used to say if we were angry with one another, back off, or I'll rip you a new hole. You've done that with this froghemoth. You've ripped it a new hole.
Yes.
Impressive.
A fine saying.
Impressive. Ripper of holes. Varel.
I like this. I'm adding it to my mental list. Ripper of new holes.
Stanley, you always have ideas.
I've never been inside a giant frog before. Sorry, Nash. I'm fresh out of ideas right now.
Well, we need
Then
all...
the boat it is.
Let's do... You want to try the boat?
Let's do the boat.
Bo, is there anything I can do to roll for anything that will help me see if this is a terrible idea or not? Like whether or not stomach acid and sort of these enzymes are going to tear through the bone.
Medicine check.
All right, I'll do a medicine check. I do have a bonus to that, which feels good for once. That would be a 14.
Okay, so you think about your knowledge of what you learned in the solar mines, books about anatomy, and you think about that, yes, the stomach dissolves the food that it eats, and it's likely to definitely dissolve you. You're not sure how a stomach dissolves wood, but you feel like it might last a little bit. How long, you're not certain, but certainly it wouldn't eat through it right away. But wood being organic material, it wouldn't last long, but it might be just long enough to get you where you need to go. But the only true test of knowing is to try it.
Okay. I mean, it's the only... So I will tell my companions this is the only boat we have, so we need to be relatively certain. It seems like the kind of thing that would be a lot more useful in other scenarios, but for our survival, I'm happy to pull this off and use it. Are we all agreed?
Consider for a second that what you're seeing is a vertical view and not a top-down view.
Right, we'd pop a boat. Let's think of the logistics here.
So it looks like there's a place for the boat to float at top of the stomach, but there's no real place to go with the boat.
Yeah, I can't just tip it downward. And I mean, it's
not a submarine, unfortunately.
Yeah, and this isn't a river.
Perhaps a new plan, then. We find the lungs, climb inside and tickle them vigorously, and get expelled through coughing.
You think we can climb out?
If we are propelled by a great force.
What if we just claw our way through this place right here? Can we do that? Where would that go?
Out the neck, I'd assume.
Perhaps that is the way we should do this. Just tear a front door right through the neck. If we know the angle. I mean,
We could always try and give him an upset stomach, see if he'll spew us out. Maybe once we're far enough away from him, if we are way up in the air, we can slow fall down to the ground after that, no problem.
That's up to your magics.
Well, as far as giving him an upset stomach, there's not a whole lot I can do. We probably need hope.
Maybe? Let's see. I'll start thinking on the bullets that I have.
Trying to see if I've got anything in here that could be sickening.
By the way, Varel, I found this. You may want to find a way to keep this on your person a little better, and I'm gonna shift up Mosstorm so we can take it.
I've got both hands on the wall, so I will turn my head sideways and the handle and hold it. Thank you, Stanley.
Nice. I do have six cups of bat poop that I kept from that time.
The bullets are magic. I don't know what would happen if I tried to summon them.
You could summon the bullets and throw the bat poop in.
That's assuming I can even summon bullets.
I have old cigarettes. We could smoke them out. I have some eyeballs left. They're decaying, but maybe those will make him sick.
It doesn't seem like it's a very picky eater, Nash.
Varel,
ain't
could you start getting through its throat? Are you in a strong enough position to do so?
I don't think we'd have the Stanley holding on to my tail, you see, and I got a sword. Oh, we are holding on. So whatever we do, we must maintain the hold or we fall in the law.
Can't you use your free arm to just slash?
I got both hands. I got Stanley on my tail.
I'm holding on with one hand.
You got a mechanical arm. I got the holder. You know.
Give yourself inspiration, please.
It's like Kirk Douglas accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award.
What if he got a ladder and he supported a cross and we stood on it and then we had a wall?
What did he say?
How wide is Mosstorm?
Mosstorm's a great sword, so I'd assume probably 5 feet.
Okay,
somewhere
so
in
not
the
wide
3 to 5
enough.
feet range. As you guys are having this conversation, a liquid begins trickling from up top.
Oh,
It begins spilling down on top of you. It's like swallowing saliva, perhaps. And there's this like green coated goopy stuff, and it starts dripping on top of everybody and sliding down the walls from up above and landing in the stomach below. It's going bloop, 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 bloop.
The ticking clock.
Hope's just gonna take out her Bowie knife with her free arm and just start desperately slashing at the throat to the
Well,
side.
you don't have a free hand. You've got one hand on the
Oh, and
trachea,
the other
one
holding
hand is
Nash.
on
That's
Nash.
right.
The baby arm waves
Oh,
the tailbone at you.
Stop. Hope's furious right now. This is the maddest she's ever been.
You guys are suffering stress damage.
It's up to
Except for
you.
Varel.
What's the water?
Stanley.
Is there a way to tell what the water is? Is it just he's in the water?
It's stomach acid.
Oh.
And I was actually perusing your sheet the other day. You have a new ability because your draconic bloodline is Black Dragon, right?
Yeah.
And so you think just got an ability to become resistant to acid damage.
Only in.
It's been
I
sorcery
thought I
form.
was only in dragon form. Do I have that as a passive in human
Oh,
form?
no, it's your sorcery. So normally sorcerers don't get to become dragons. That's a feature of your pacemaker.
Right.
But as a sorcerer, you do have a draconic bloodline coursing through you, giving you your ability to cast spells in a way. And you just learned elemental affinity. You can spend one sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type for 1 hour.
Let's see. Specific dragon type is ancestry. Speak, read, and write in draconic. Okay.
Just thought I'd remind you.
Max HP increases by
'Cause
6.
it's definitely acid that you're looking at below.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Elemental affinity. When you cast a spell, you can add +4 to 1 damage roll on that spell. Oh, I haven't been doing that either.
Yeah, so when you acid splash, you can get extra damage.
This is level 6 stuff I didn't notice. Okay. Well, then I'll just continue to be resistant to it.
You have to spend a sorcery point, and you're not taking acid damage currently.
Okay. I'll do it when I... Do I feel like I'm eminently going to?
No, but there's a pool of acid below you.
I mean,
like
it's
it looks like the
hanging
way up
over
is gonna be
acid.
very difficult because there's water and saliva running along the mucous membrane down. The robo plan's not exactly going to work out.
I think what
I'm
this
just-
is coming
I'm just
to...
I'm throwing a little DM hint out there.
No, I get the hint. I think what's going to have to happen is he wants... Or, the thinking is I would dive down there and go somewhere. And that I would resist... I could hold my breath and resist that acid is the same as if I was swimming in a pool. But I still don't know what that yields us in terms of...
Resistance means half damage, so
Right.
you still take damage from acid. But
Right, but it would be enough to do
resistance.
whatever. I just don't know what I would do down there. I'm not going to go find the hole, the butthole.
it's hard to know what to do in areas you haven't explored yet.
All right, I'll tell the team that I'm willing to. I tell them all this, about my bloodline and everything, and then I'm willing to.
Just casually.
And then I will dive down for the team and see if there's anything to be seen, an exit, any other wounds that sort of perforate the stomach,
Sure.
any other stuff down there,
And
like
you've still got your light stone, so it's making you a source of light.
right.
So then you spend the sorcery point to give yourself the
I'm
resistance.
not sure that's a good idea, Nash.
What?
Well, he said he was doing it.
I guess I'm just-
Well,
he
there he
declared
goes.
the action.
Woo!
Drops
Nash.
down, dives deep first, and the hand again waving the the rattle bone.
You know what this is?
Dives into the water.
This is like a guy's getting thrown off at the edge of a
Oh,
thing,
okay.
doing a what do you call it?
You're diving into the water like cool, like.
Yeah, but
not-
what
you're not
happens
flailing
is
about
I
it.
went to dive, and as I left my foot, I hear Stanley go, "That's not a good idea," and then I went, "There's nothing I could do." Because I would
You're like, what?
I would normally listen, but I guess I'm in, so I'm in.
Yeah.
Bloosh.
So you fall down, sploosh into the water. You dive in.
Okay.
I don't know if people can see his light, but you see a light underneath the stomach acid. You see desiccated corpse of pixie hulks everywhere inside. Some of them look like they're awake but not moving, almost paralyzed, if you will. Their eyes open.
Okay. Their eyes are all open.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
And I need you to make a Constitution save.
Okay. Let's see, that's plus. You say Constitution? Yep.
Yep.
23.
Okay, so you take no damage from the acid. You've saved. And you can now swim around.
I'm going to delve a little deeper into the journey through the penis here. Oh, there we go.
Okay. You swim, seeing corpses either half desiccated or just standing still. There's corpses everywhere. There are hundreds of corpses. And some of them look like they're still alive, but they're not moving, as if they're paralyzed, and their eyes follow you as you go by them. You see anger in the eyes as they follow you through the murky green acid depths as you swim around inside the stomach pool. You've now moved a sufficient amount that I'll need you to make another Constitution save. Please.
All right. How am I on breath? Is that what we're doing the saves for, or is this for acid?
Yeah, I mean, you swam a bit. Does anyone remember what the amount of holding breath is? I forget.
Isn't it like 1 minute, then an additional minute for
1 minute
each?
plus your Constitution modifier is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1 plus your Constitution modifier, and then you have a number of rounds before you could die. What's your con modifier?
Well, let me ask you this. It's +3, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
Alter Self also lets me have an aquatic adaptation.
Yep.
That means I can be in an aquatic environment, sprouting gills, growing webbing between fingers, and I can breathe underwater.
You sure can.
And swimming speed is equal to walking speed. What does this environment equate to that, or is this going to be?
It's liquid. I don't know. Well, it's not water. It's acid. So I don't know that you want to breathe that. If you know of any creatures that breathe stomach acid, then have at it.
Well, the reason
I would say yes,
it should be okay, because even in in humans and animals, most of the contents of stomach acid is water. The enzymes that make up stomach acid would be bad for our lungs, but not necessarily microbial creatures that would exist inside there that do live in our guts. So
okay.
I mean, it feels like I still have the resistance issue to deal with, but I feel like it's not going to be.
Does your character know of any submersive races that you could transform into?
Well, I've
frogmen before.
I have history to I have +3 to history. I could do a history check if you want.
Okay.
Let's do that. But nothing in particular in my story.
You have to do a bit of research, but maybe make your roll. We'll see.
All right, that would be an 18.
Okay. So again, you search your mind for. While I'm looking this up, go ahead and make another Constitution save as you sit and contemplate in the middle of the water, just floating there in the water, holding your breath, thinking back to your time in the solar mines.
Yeah.
Trying to think. You remember seeing a book containing races of legend that have been spoken about but not seen. And the museum in the solar mines might have a skeleton or artifacts of such races.
18 on that Constitution.
All right. So before I answer your question, so alter self is not an alter appearance thing. It's actually a little bit.
Well, there's change appearance. There's natural weapons on my hands and feet, or
okay. So it's not. This doesn't change your appearance. It just gives you gills.
Right. It gives me gills and webbed feet, and I can be underwater, and move fast.
Okay.
Submersive material. Hopefully.
You're aware of a race of beings known as the Slad. Through your times being forced to go through the museum to learn about weird races in the soul.
Field trip.
and you realize
this whole time
that there was rumored to be a race of frogmen that existed somewhere on Earth, but none have seen them except those written about in books. Maybe Handsome Dan Dakota published a treatise on them at one point.
Handsome Dan Dakota?
Yeah, the guy who made your maps.
Yeah.
If you look on your maps, they're made by Handsome Dan Dakota.
Yeah, forgot about that guy.
So you think you remember an image of them, and that you could probably emulate its amphibious nature by you're going to make your mouth and jaw really fat and big.
Okay.
And then you'll sprout gills on the sides. So you look like you have giant mumps, basically.
Great.
But you think you could alter yourself in such a way and breathe it in. Again, you'll be able to breathe the water, but long-term exposure to this toxic water is not going to be good for you.
Okay. I just think I'm not going to be much use if I have to keep worrying about breathing, so let's do it. I'm going to cast it
Okay.
on myself, and I won't be able to say this verbally, obviously, but in my head I say, sometimes...
Well, does it require verbal? Hang on.
No, I
It
just
does
like to
require
do it.
verbal.
I just like doing
No,
it.
the spell itself requires verbal.
Oh, it does?
So you're gonna have to say it, and bubbles are gonna have to come out underwater.
All right, so I'm going to use whatever last oxygen I have in my lungs to say these words, and they come out bubbly, and they're not going to hear it up top, obviously.
No.
But I'm going to say, sometimes you just have to pay the bills. Is there a better way than to grow your own gills? Bloop!
Yeah, and then basically your two cheeks just puff right out, all the way to your shoulders, and these little gills on either side.
Right.
And your baby hand sort of moves awkwardly in a weird position. And to your surprise, the spell actually works as intended.
Oh, good. All right.
And to you guys hanging on up in the trachea, you see bubbles, on the top of the bile, like where you saw him go down and bubbles from his breathing come out, and then they stop.
Well, it's safe to say he didn't make it.
Let's see if we can cut that hole, and I'll take my Bowie knife out and start stabbing at the...
I'll also, with a free hand, keep one arm around the tail, pull out a dagger, and start jabbing at the wall on the other side.
Sure. As you guys cut, and you spend some time cutting because Nash has been gone for a while, it seems that you're cutting at the mucous membrane, and the mucous membrane seems like saliva seems to be dripping down from the sides, and it just seems to reform, and you don't seem to be getting anywhere cutting through the mucus. You can't even make it to the trachea itself. You're just cutting through slop at this point. Nash, you now have giant cheeks and lumps, and you're floating amongst some dead, some not dead corpses that seem paralyzed in the stomach acid just being eaten away. I think you notice, now with your sort of increased perception, with your amphibious nature, you think you see pink forms in the water ahead of you, floating around. Don't look like pixies. Can't tell if they've noticed you or not, but you think you make out, every time you sort of look, you think you see something moving in the water. And the stomach acid, and then it's sort of gone.
I'm going to move just a little 5 feet there. See if I see it any better.
You kind of make them out now.
Now I'm very curious. I'm going to move a little more.
It's a band.
All right, I'm starting to make them out.
And you start to make them out. You notice these little, like, worm-like creatures. They're pink, and they're swimming through the acid. And you see them curl around one of the pixies, and then a little tube comes out of their head. Their head seems to be a hole with all teeth, but then they put their teeth, and then a little tube comes out, and it seems to be injecting the corpses with some sort of toxin. As it's like, this one swims over here, takes this corpse, and begins injecting it with some sort of toxin.
Okay.
Sort of see that through the murky stomach acidy mist.
Do they seem to be making eyes for me at all? Or any sort of...
They haven't noticed you yet.
Okay.
You've been kind of quiet now that you're not trying to hold your breath.
I'm going to cut down here
Mm-hmm.
and try to work my way.
You reach the bottom of the stomach lining. You
'Cause
notice that the ground is hard and callous here.
Okay. Do I see any other structure, any structural
Are you
integrity
trying to be
stuff
stealthy?
like holes? Yeah, I'm trying to be stealthy.
No, it's a hard, calloused surface.
I would really like to sneak past this worm here.
Okay.
Do I need to do a stealth check?
You need to do a stealth check. You also do need to be aware that you have a light source on you
Oh shit.
to see, and you'll be in pitch black and not see anything if you turn it off.
I'm gonna leave it on and just see. I'm gonna approach this creature. I want to see what happens.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just swim. Now he's in the light. a
It
little
reacts
bit.
violently, shooting around as you move closer, and then it looks around, panics and flails, and then runs from the light.
Oh, good.
Disappears into the darkness.
Okay. I had a hunch. All right. I'm gonna keep moving, and I'm following this direction because I want to keep near the wall. There's another one.
Yeah, it darts out,
All right.
moving away.
Little peckers.
You notice now there's a whole school of these pink worms, but they fly away from your light source, not liking it.
Okay.
But they do now seem to be hovering around you in a circle,
That's
sort of
good.
following you sort of following you, waiting. If you had to guess, it appears like it's their. Oops, just gonna move that. It appears like it's their job to deliver toxins to what falls into the stomach and then paralyze them for dissection, or not dissection, but for the stomach acid to do its work.
Okay, so they're working on behalf of the system here. If they're afraid of light, that's a good thing for me to know. I'm gonna keep working my way downtown. Trying to
Swim
find
ahead, and eventually you see surface up above. Your head breaks water. Just ignore the fact that it goes a little higher. You're now sort of treading the top of the water.
Okay, and I can. This is like
you can't move any higher than that. Yeah. You're fine.
I see. Sorry.
I'll draw a line where the actual water breaks because tile set doesn't do that. But just for
no worries. But there is air there.
Yeah. Now you're back to regular air. So right there is where you're treading water.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
It's a top-down map that we're using in the vertical. So
No.
It's
all good.
Everything I need. Yeah.
It's all good. Can I tell by looking if this direction here or that there are these exitable sphinctery places?
Make a perception check.
Okay. +1, so that would be a 15.
Okay, so you break open on the other side of the stomach where acid. There's no longer acid there. It sort of settles at the top. You notice that acid, there's coating along the walls, but that it's free and clear for walking. You also, with your perception, notice that there's a orifice at the top there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
There's a kind of string, like a silvery string, sort of laid at top and dangling down. And I'm going to draw it for you now that you see it. You know, so there's a silvery string sort of hanging from here like this, just dangling down like that.
Ugh. Okay. All right. I'm going to remain in fish form. I see this as good news, so I'm going to swim back up to
back to where you were.
Back to.
I need you to make a Constitution save because you've been in the acid for
a
period of time again.
Let's do. Oh, shit. That would be 8.
Okay, you take 2 points of damage, reduced down to 1 because you're resistant to acid damage.
Okay, so half that is 1 damage. Okay. Oh, do I not have the temporary hit points we got from John? Those are gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm still using. I haven't been hurt in a while, so I forgot I had that. Okay, let me do that again. Damage. Okay, I'm at 49
from like 20 episodes ago.
Yeah, it was a well. No, it's like
I'm just joking.
It was a week
something.
ago, but it's basically 20 episodes.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna come back.
Oh, the worms swim out of the light. They don't like it. They just swim quickly, hostile. But then they turn around to see you.
Yeah, they just. I have the sense they would just love it if I dropped my shit, or if my light went away, because then they could do their dirty work. All right.
Now that you've swam back down to the bottom area, I'll need you to make another Constitution save, please.
Okay. This time. 13, 14, 15, 16.
Okay, you take no damage.
Sweet. I will work my way. You tell me when you think I've swam enough or not.
Well, you get back to the surface. I'll draw where the surface is on this side too, just so it makes sense to everybody. Okay. There's the surface.
Where is it?
The green line. Do you see it there?
Yep. So I'll go there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're treading water now here on top.
All right. So I go. Hey, you guys! I don't know how I would talk.
Yeah. So he breaks through the water and he has these giant cheeks, like giant mumps. Just his flesh is just like, and there are gills on them.
Oh God, the acid
What
made
is
him
it?
even worse. Oh, it's awful.
That's Nash?
You guys, I have good news.
Oh, God.
Listen. Don't be alarmed. This is a spell and it worked.
The magic worked.
This time,
You did that to yourself intentionally.
yes, it's my aquatic form.
Ugh.
No, it's good.
When
I can
he
breathe in here.
Speaks, it makes his cheeks rumble and the hand sort of just involuntarily shakes
Oh,
because of
no.
what he's.
Is the baby hand webbed too?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, it is. Now it is. I didn't notice it as DM, but yeah, it's in that web.
I'm making it carry the rock.
I don't know
It's,
why I
blood.
needed to know that. I just was
Yeah,
very.
it has a
curious
light
about
rock
it.
in his hand too now.
Yeah, it's just gripping the light
So
rock.
he's like, so Nash is like a human lanternfish or whatever.
Gonna rip it off.
But I'll explain that I found an exit, and it may be more than that. There's some stuff going on down there. We've just got to figure out a way to get you all through here. But there's
That
a way
doesn't
out.
Seem very likely. We're not weird fish people like you.
I know, but there's got to be a way. I mean, there's an exit. There's a thing to climb, with possibly another exit. And there's a bunch of weird creatures in there, but they don't like light, so they won't come after us. They're only
Can I
going.
see this bow?
Yep. You see there's a little orifice on the side there.
I just didn't know if I could see that from my angle.
Well, can you?
I don't know. I mean, I can on the map, but
Yeah,
You know.
you see it. You see it.
what if we tried to go a different way?
I mean, that's fine. I could maybe these all. I mean, we're all going to meet up at the same place, but I'm pretty sure that hole up there has an end. That looks like just a little pocket. Because I can see that too, barely.
No.
Right up here. That looks like it's just a end. So I'm going to do, Bo, you have to decide if I can do this or not. But I'm going to do like a dolphin. I go, whoosh, and then.
Well, you didn't let me decide before you did it.
Oh, well, now you know what I was going to do. Should I do it or no?
You just shot 20 feet. Remember, that's 5 feet per square, so that was a 25-foot or 20-foot vertical leap. No, 25-foot vertical leap into the air.
That's the sound I make.
So let's just say you did it, but you don't know how you do. You swam down, shot back up.
I just wanted to see the sphincter hole from
you
the.
saw that it was a little oubliette without any end. It's just you're not sure what it's there for.
Okay, and then I'll fall
Just a,
back.
a cavity. If there's a cavity, and that's it. It doesn't go anywhere.
Stanley, it's just a cavity. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like a Mass Effect dialogue choice there.
How long do we have to hold our breath for?
Oh shit! I didn't time it. I don't know if I could have. There was a lot going on down there, but it was pretty quick.
So every 6. Well, I'll give you a rough estimation, so I don't have to make you do it again. So I'll get back to you. Just give me a second.
So I don't know. What's it like up there?
You know, a lot like how it was before you went down there.
Okay, so it would take, without uninterrupted, probably 4 rounds, which is about 6 seconds. So you could probably swim it at a good clip in 24 seconds.
20. Could you hold your breath for 24 to 30 seconds? That's about what it is, and you just have to stay near me.
Why?
Well, I have the light, and
Why?
these worms down here will look like they're going to hurt us if we don't have the light.
There's worms.
Yeah, I mentioned those earlier. They're like parasites or small. I don't know what they are, but I think their job down here appears to be whatever food is put down here. It paralyzes it, like it has these large pixie creatures, and prepares them for digestion. And I would assume it would do that to us if it weren't for the light. They scatter as I go through it with light.
We could all hold hands. Do it in one big go.
You got this, Nash. We believe in you.
So you're coming down?
Wasn't planning on it.
I'm gonna go.
It's our only
Brave-
choice, Stanley.
I want the biggest drink. I want the biggest drink ever when we're
We
out of
can
here.
only do it
The
together.
hottest tiefling. Oh my god.
Listen.
And then I let go.
Yes, we're going, and I let go.
You all let go and drop down and go sploosh, land in the acid. Everyone roll a Constitution save, please.
Everybody but me, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
10.
Okay, you pass.
3.
All right, Stanley, you take 2 points of acid damage.
23.
You're fine.
I do not let go of Varel's tail
All right,
because
so you're
I
actually
am not a good swimmer.
Sure. All right. So you're right next to him. You guys just barely crest the the source of light where Nash is, as you dive down, sort of sinking down, you see the worms start to sort of congregate right there, but just on the edge, and they start to go after you, and you swim a little bit back up, back into the light, and they just hang out along the periphery.
I will head to the surface.
Okay,
Me too.
you guys all swim back up. It smells like stomach bile, by the way. It stinks if you're not into that sort of thing. If you don't care, then it doesn't affect you.
Nash, let's go.
Nash is breathing it in, so he's declining.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Let's
So,
go.
okay, follow me, and I.
Hold on tight.
I'll grab
All right.
one of Nash's.
So
knives.
we're gonna move one at a time just to make the logistics easier, because you might actually find yourself in danger. So we can pick your initiative order.
Or should we roll for it?
No, you can choose it. We're not in the midst of combat, so just tell me what's your marching
Well,
order
I'll
is.
lead the
I'm
way
just
to keep the
grabbing
light.
onto Nash's left arm.
Mhm.
The light.
I'm holding on to Varel's tail, so I would be after Varel in.
If you hold on to his tail, then you don't have to be in the turn order.
Okay,
You're just
then
gonna
I
Oh,
be-
nice.
Cool.
not in the
So-
turn order.
Okay.
And I
so,
have swimming as a feature of my lizard fokery.
Oh,
All right. So and Hope, you're holding on to Nash.
yeah.
So it's only Nash and Varel in the turn order then. Okay.
Oh, and they
So,
can swim
uh,
fast.
Nash, Nash, make your move.
Okay.
Move up to 6. Move up to 12 squares, but again, mind your companions.
I'm gonna just move that much because I will know that they don't have the.
Okay. Now Varel, make your move.
Cool. I would like to maintain alongside Nash.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then the little digestive creatures just sort of swim out of the light. They move to the side here.
Okay.
All right, Nash, your turn.
I'm gonna move.
Doesn't like it.
I'm gonna push these bodies out of the way and. Kinda,
It doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. You push one of the body. You push one of the bodies out of the way, and its eyes are open and raging at you, but it can't move its body. You almost see it twitch a little bit as it tries to punch you, and moves.
I turn
And
around.
winces in pain.
I turn around and forget I'm in here, and I go to tell them why that's happening, but I forgot. It's bubbles. They're not gonna hear it.
Okay, perfect.
Keep
All
going.
right, so continue on, Varel, moving your dude.
Keeping pace.
Yeah. All right, Stanley. I'll move this guy out of the way. Continue on, Nash.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I know you got to pay attention to it the whole way. You guys do this one at a time. All right, and everyone swims. All right, we don't have to do this on the table. There's nothing exciting going on here. Over the course of the next 24 seconds, you all swim together. Because it's going to be over the course of 4 turns, let's just make this efficient. I want everyone to roll 4 times their saving throw. Any rolls you get under 10 will cause 2 damage to earn Nash's kill.
These are Constitution.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I took. Do I take extra on a natural 1?
No, we'll just skip that this time.
Alright,
All right.
then only one of them did damage.
Same. I rolled a 1 for one of them. Do I?
So you take 1 damage. Nash takes 2.
Well, I take 1,
and
right? Because it's halved.
You take 1. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
You swim through the sea of pixie Hulk bodies as the worms sort of follow along and witness you as you stay in the light, being held by Nash's baby hand, and you make it to the surface of the stomach acid on the other side.
All right. My first words, once I've made sure everyone's there, is to say, "See, there's a silver rope of some sort there, or there's this tube here in front of Hope. We kind of have a choice here, or one of us could go explore the upper sphincter thing. That may take us back to the esophageal pass. That's an actual place, isn't it? In your world.
Yeah, that's in the dead fingers.
Yeah. I think it's an actual medical thing, too. But anyway, that'll take us to the junction between the esophagus and the trachea. He says with some
Varel, you want to grab the rope?
medical authority.
Do we need the rope to get out of the lake?
It might,
no, you
it
can-
might
you can
be
just-
a monster.
You can just swim up onto the shore there.
Okay, cool. I will get on that shore, and I will take the sword from my mouth.
Okay, and you notice the thing dangling there, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you I need you to make a careful perception roll.
Okay.
I think I know what that is.
Yeah, is it a Half-Life
Yeah.
Yankerdoodle?
Maybe. Or like that Futurama episode.
9.
Okay. You don't sufficiently notice it, and you walk into it. Okay. You are now grappled by it immediately. We don't do a contest. Immediately, the thing snaps, wraps around you, and begins pulling you up. And you start floating off the ground. And then through the hole, you see a shadow form over, and then a large scorpion peers itself over top. And he's all white. And he begins reeling you in as his claws look up above, and you start floating up. About 15 feet. And roll for initiative, please.
Eight.
12.
3.
5.
I'm like really bad tonight.
Okay, Nash, you're up first.
Okay.
You're still swimming in the water, treading. You notice Varel get scooped up by the filament that was hanging from the top, and then a scorpion appears up top. But the scorpion's face just has this big hole full of teeth. It's not an actual scorpion. It's like some weird intestine bug, and it's now got your friend in its mouth.
All right. I'm going to take a risk because if my amphibious form spell worked, then perhaps my other spells will work. So I'm going to do this really nifty move where the little baby hand on my shoulder is going to toss the glowstone to my other hand, which I catch pretty deftly. And then the little baby...
Okay.
Oh, do I have to roll for something for that?
No, that'll be your free action. let's
Okay,
say.
that's my free action.
It might have cost you an action. Your turn might have been over.
That would suck. And then the baby hand is going to cast Firebolt up above through that little dip to try to hit the little dude.
Make an attack roll.
Okay, it will be 16.
Okay. It's a... Yeah, I put a picture of what you're looking at in
The scorpion
Discord, by
thing?
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's cool. Okay.
Roll a 16.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It's a hit.
Let's see that thing. That's cool. Here, look at this. Chat room, you can see it. Maybe. Whoops. Maybe not. Well, anyway, it's really cool. Trust me on this. That is badass. All right. It's a hit, you say?
Yep.
Okay. I need damage. Hold on.
That's what I was waiting for.
I'm farting around here. I was trying to show off that image. Let's see here. Firebolt. So my stuff's working down here. This is great. Great news. Okay, let's see. That's 2d10. So here you go. That'll be a total of 12 damage.
Okay, and so you hit it, and the creature, it sort of hits the armor, coats it, and it squeals. But it still pulls up Varel. It's not undeterred, but you do hit it and damage its face.
Okay.
Okay. Did you want to move anywhere?
No, I'll stay bobbing in the water for now.
Okay, Stanley, your turn.
It is?
It is.
Wow, I rolled so bad. I'm just surprised. Okay. Well, seeing magic work again, I will throw out diplomacy and say parlay, seeing as I can't see the creature direct. Well, I don't know. Can I see it?
Do you have line of sight? Let's trace it.
I mean, I can see it on the thing.
You do not have line of sight on it.
All right. I will send diplomacy to stab the little filament thing. Then
Okay.
that's pulling
All
up
right.
Varel.
Make an attack roll, please.
That's going to be a 23 to hit.
All right, roll your damage.
Maybe. Where's my dice? There they are. 10 damage.
Okay, perfect. You slice it in two, and Varel falls to the ground. 15 feet. That's 1d10 damage. You take 2 points of damage, Varel, as you hit the Oh, and you land. Well, you land next to Stanley. It's a vertical view, so we can just keep it that way. You land next to Stanley as he slices the filament. You do sort of feel a weird pain in your ankle as you land, so you take 2 points of damage twisting it. But you're back on the ground.
Awesome.
I can't see the thing, so that'll be maybe move a little further in away from that, and then that'll be my turn.
Perfect. Hope, it is your turn.
All right, Hope's gonna crawl out and move past the filament.
Okay.
And she's gonna just drop to all fours.
The second you step on that part of it, it appears to tickle something inside the esophagus, and everything rumbles. And the acid shoots up from the stomach and begins firing down the hole. I need everyone to make a... Let me look it up.
Oh, you gagged him. It says anatomic ganglia, whatever thing it's called.
So a strength check if you plan on holding on to a wall, or a constitution save if you plan on holding to the standing your ground without having to hold on to it.
What do I do since I'm in it?
Well, you're just going to get blown with it. You can't make a save here.
Shit.
Yeah, 7.
15 for the constitution save.
Okay.
16
Varel.
strength.
All right, Stanley and Varel stand their ground as bile comes rushing out and corpses go flying. You see Pixie Hall corpses like fly down the hallway. Nash, you get washed up, and Hope, you wash up, and you just hang on to the edge right here. You're both sort of hanging on to the edge, and you watch corpses fall down this hole. This hole is much wider, and the corpses just go as they knock their way down.
Hold fast, Hope.
Now there's bile covering the ground. I need everyone to make a constitution save as well, please.
Jeez.
9.
9.
So 2 damage, 2 damage.
13.
23.
0 damage.
13.
Nash. All right, 1 damage. No, 0 damage for you.
Okay.
But you're both now gripping on, just sort of to the edge, in danger of falling down. There is a little outlet where you could probably land on underneath you, but it's not looking very safe. Okay. Hope, it's still your turn.
I'll yell up, "We found another hole!" And that'll be my turn.
All right. Varel, it is your turn.
Deeper
Are you
in.
playing something that's purring?
It's the sting. It's supposed to be the spidery thing hanging there. I turned it off.
I just feel like every now and then my ear is vibrating.
There he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not dead, though.
Ooh,
He's still hanging there.
jeez. Yeah, he's still hanging there.
Oh, Varel moves that way, and he tickles the back of the throat again. And bile rushes forth. Not the throat, but... Bile rushes forth. Stanley, everyone needs to make a strength or constitution save, please. Strength for those two holding on, Nash and Hope.
Gosh, dang
13.
14.
That'd be a big
21.
8.
All right, so the bile comes spilling down, and more corpses come flying as they wash down the back of the throat. Varel, you splash down, and you're now standing there, holding onto the side, just dangling on. Stanley is... What do you roll, Stanley?
13.
Okay, you stand your ground. Hope as well, believe you stood your ground. Nash begins to fall and falls right by you. Now you have an opportunity to use a reaction to do something, or else he's going to fall in the pit.
Cool,
with the
I'll
rest
try
of
and grab him.
the rest of the poo-poo. All right.
The strength, I guess?
Yep.
Okay, and 9.
Okay, it misses.
Can I see any of this where I am?
You cannot.
Oh, shit.
And Nash falls down along with the corpses down a long
Shit.
passage.
Well,
Literally.
I'm still in fish mode, so
Yeah. So you fall down. Now you have an opportunity to react in some way as you begin falling down the hole.
I'm going to, with my right hand and my left. Can I span this tube? Or?
Let's wait. So you fall down a certain amount down the hole. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to end that part because we're still in turn order,
Oh, okay.
and it's still Varel's turn. So Varel, you have actions left.
Cool.
Resolve that first.
I advanced with my one move, and I will dig Mosstorm into the wall and assume we're gonna start following Nash. So I'll start sliding, getting ready to
Okay.
slide down.
Before you do that, you do notice that there is a series of veiny things sort of heading up and looking like they're easily climbable from where you are. You see these little lines here on the map?
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice that there's an obvious passage up, and that down smells like actual poo.
Well,
So you definitely down is poo poo land. You can smell bile and fecal matter from this direction, and you sense that the direction up leads to an area higher up in the beast. But you can dig your sword in, so athletics check, please.
well, with the new information, I think I'll roll a medical or survival because there is no second anus. So where is the uphole going?
Ah, interesting.
There is no second anus.
So what would you like there?
Let's do a medicine. No, survival, animal carving, and knowledge of animals, beasts.
Cool. A 23.
So the froghemoth is a new encounter for you, and you're quickly beginning to realize that this thing's anatomy does not resemble the beasts you encounter. This is some sort of perversion of the natural order of beasts, great as though it might be. And so you realize that the mysteries of this thing's internal organs are new to you and actually quite exhilarating. So you don't know where it could lead, but you know for sure the down area is going to the intestine. And,
Excellent.
Probably the long labyrinth of intestine that exists down there.
All right. I will note to the party there's a hole heading up.
All right. Perfect. So the scorpion above releases a new line down. You just see it sort of slide down. It moves for a different angle. You hear it sort of clattering along the walls as it grabs the walls and hangs from the ceiling. Stanley, I think you can even see it a little bit potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, that's its turn. So we're now in free action, but before we do that, Nash is falling. Nash, you're falling.
Yeah, I have a plan for this. I'm going to stick my I'm still a man, basically. I just have webbed stuff going on, so I'm going to stick my legs. How wide is this passage?
Passage is about 10 feet wide.
Oh shit!
10 feet, not radius, but diameter, I believe, from one end to the circle to the other.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Well, this will be fun. Hold on, let me make sure I have it still. I think I do. I have. Is it exactly 10 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't take out a measuring tape and measure it, but your rough estimation as you fall is it's about 10 feet as you eyeball, you hope.
shit. I don't want to waste one of these if I'm wrong.
No. I mean, you can see it on the map, Scott. Between player and DM, it's like each square is a 5 by 5 foot sort of rough area, so it's too wide. So 10 feet.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Am I
What would you
close
like to
to? Am I was gonna pull out a 10-foot pole and try to toothpick open this thing. You know, like
Sure, it's not an exact thing. You might be able to get that done.
I know, but then there's the question of do I want to waste more patches on this thing? Actually,
Lots of patches.
I have 2 of those. Let's use one. Let's use one.
All right.
So
You rip off a patch.
let me make a
Do you
note.
say anything clever while you do it?
I need to make a note that one of them's gone. Hang on one second. Okay. No, I'll just tear it off because it's time is of the essence. No time for poetry. I whip it out and it goes schlong, and I have a big old stick,
Okay.
a big old
perfect.
rod that I will now jam hard into the space and hope that it's wider than the passage so that it will
Acrobatics or sleight of hand check.
let's do acrobatic. It doesn't matter actually. Let's do acrobatics, and we'll hope against all hope that 14 is enough.
Okay. So you go swing, and the stick juts out, and where you jut out, there's too much space. But then you slowly descend into an area where there's space, and it's like, and the stick bends, holding your weight. It's sort of in this U shape,
Yeah.
as it just, and you just barely hang on, and now you're dangling from a stick right here. So I should have moved you. Sorry. Let me put.
And it says a rod. I don't know what that's actually made of, or if it's stronger because it's a rod or not.
It's a 10-foot rod?
That's what it says, 2 10-foot rods.
Oh, I would assume a rod is metallic. It's like a piece of rebar or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, pole. Not a stick. Or
Pole
not
is
a...
like, I think pole is wood, and like a rod would be a metallic or
Okay,
whatever.
so it's definitely wood. Hopefully a sturdy wood.
It's definitely wood. Here, I'll make it bigger so we can see. There we go. That's what she said. All right. There you go. There's the pole. You're now hanging from a pole, and the smell of farts billows up all around you.
All right.
There's a little mist that everyone smells. It's sort of ascending up.
Ugh.
Whatever factory work is going on down there is taking place.
And since I'm so far down, I go, it's not me. Don't even make the joke, Stanley. It's coming from below me. I didn't fart. Relax. There. I say with my big fish face.
These giant cheeks all the way up to your shoulder.
Yep.
All right, so now we're in free action, guys. Since you're not fighting the cave fisher anymore. Unless
right.
you want to, Stanley.
No, but having seen everybody step on this little nub and cause problems, I would like to try to back up just a little bit and jump over it.
Okay. Let's make an acrobatics roll. And what's your running jump length? If you run, you get 10 feet plus your modifier, I think, is the long jump.
Where does it say that?
It's somewhere in the rules, but
I don't know.
Long jump 5e. I believe it's 10 plus your dex modifier or potentially strength. Movement speed, travel, that's no. Long jump. Cover number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet. Oh, it's your strength score. Not your modifier, but your score.
Oh, well, my strength is 10.
Okay, so you're able to jump 10 feet.
Right.
Which actually would be sufficient, at least to get over that first hump.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll do that.
Okay, so you run back, dodging the filament, being mindful where it is. You make a run at the little hump, and land here.
Sweet.
And then you wait for a second for more bile to come up, and you hear a little... as if you tickled it just a little bit, but nothing came out. It just sputters.
Sweet. Alright, I will go join my friends over on the edge here.
Mm-hmm.
And look down and see what's going on with Nash.
Can you see Nash from your vantage?
I can see the pole.
Yeah, well, you see part of a pole stuck in there and the smell of farts.
So we want to go up, I'm assuming.
It's
And I'll
certainly
climb
preferable
up.
to down.
To behind Stanley.
Okay. Athletics roll, please.
Oh, yes. Be a 15.
All right, so you grab Stanley's hand and then you use your feet to stick it into the mucous membrane of whatever sort of internal passage this is and make your way up and clamber up on the snotty flooring next to Stanley.
Great. This is working out great for old Nash Maggard.
Nash, how do we recover you?
I
Nash,
don't-
do you have a bird form?
No. And I'm all out of rope.
Anyone else have rope? We remember we started a couple guys had rope.
Well, it was only 50 feet that I would have had, so I'm not sure. And plus, I'm at the point of making the rope, so it wouldn't help me unless I could throw it up somehow.
No, I lost mine at some point. It's not there anymore.
I mean, rope is still in my inventory, so I would still have rope.
I have one wooden ladder left. 24-foot ladder.
That gets you up
Next.
4 or 5 squares.
Yeah.
Oh, you make
Hold
it.
on.
Would I make it?
I'll pull the
Yeah,
rope out.
there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the top of the ladder, and then you can get onto this ledge.
Oh. Yeah, but
Then you
where
have to
would
climb up the 10-foot incline, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'd have to wedge the ladder and lean it somehow, and there's no surface.
Yeah, you have to wedge it into the one side of the wall, the other one.
Oh,
It sounds like
geez.
Hope has a rope, though. So.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
this is going on, a rope is slowly lowering.
I'm looking at my patches. I'm going like this.
I'll help her with the rope.
Yeah, well, we'll all hold on to the rope up here to help
So,
anchor.
athletics check with advantage. Nash, as the party tries to. They can definitely hold your weight, the three of them on there, so they don't need to check for that. You just need to make sure that you can climb a rope
With advantage?
with advantage, because your friends are aiding you.
19 then.
All right, so you climb up some of the ways. The rope comes down, and everyone pulls you up, and they heave you, and everyone sort of sits down and falls and relaxes as you get in there, and now you're back up top.
I'll
On
put
the
my rope up.
in the snotty passage. Bile covered passage.
Okay. Thank you. Really didn't have a lot of options down there.
No, and we would expect that maze to go on for miles.
Yeah. I was heading toward the shitter. It's bad news.
Yeah, could be full.
So we go up.
Yeah,
We go up.
we go up.
All right, we use the rope around me. I'll lead the way, climb the veiny members, and we'll have you guys safety tied.
It just looks like large dangly sausages hanging off the side of the wall and little veins, as you can see on the map.
Ugh.
This has grown less glorious as it goes on.
Yeah.
You think, Varel?
Yes.
You think this is
I
less glorious?
believe that the glory
Yeah?
is leaking from this situation.
Oh, well, I'm glad we all are in agreement.
I would have voted it started that way, but glad we've all wound up in the same place.
All right, and I will tie around my waist the rope and pass it back to everybody. Get the sword rocking around and start climbing.
Okay, everyone, is everyone going to be doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let's get everyone as a group to roll. They're going to need to make an acrobatics check to kind of leap out towards it, unless we have a better idea. To jump onto the big veiny member and then climb up it with athletics. So 2 rolls. Let me know the results one at a time. Varel,
Is
you're up
it-
first.
Acrobatics because we're dodging.
So there's a leap required to get onto to get on and clasp the sausage.
Because it's a slippery sausage?
Well, because this is vertical and there's like a 10-foot jump. You see it?
Yeah, I'm just athletics is the jumping stat, and I would
Oh,
I'd
okay,
like to
then
Court
yes.
of D&D avoid acrobatics.
Absolutely. You're okay. Athletics for your jump then.
22.
Okay. You easily jump over, grab onto the veiny sausage, and now you're dangling from it.
All right, I will begin the climb.
You begin to climb. Who's next? We'll just do one roll. It's fine. Athletics or acrobatics? Player's choice.
Well, I rolled twice and got very different numbers. Do you want me to take my best one or re-roll?
Just invalidate it all and re-roll.
Damn it.
I was confusing in my instructions, so it's my bad.
All right. Oh. It teetered on a 20 for a minute and ended up on a 12.
Was it an upside down one? Oh.
No, it just was like it's hard to
All
explain.
right, so you're able to jump and grab on, and then you slide down to the bottom of the thing, but then you stop sliding and you're just barely hanging on at the bottom of the flesh sausage. You're just not sure what it is or what's purpose it is. It's just there.
All right. I go, ew! And that's that's it.
Start climbing. Start
Start climbing up,
Okay.
following Varel.
Who's next?
I'll go next. I got an 18.
All right, you jump over, and you have extra jump distance because of your leg. So you propel yourself way up and easily climb onto it, grabbing it in one big superstar motion. You're on, and you're already moving up in a hurry to get out of here and get through that drink.
Yes.
You just jump right on it. Stanley,
I rolled a 14.
okay. You jump on it fairly gracefully as well, pretty easily, in a light elfin run up, and glide yourself onto it, and everyone makes their way up. The climbing lasts a while. It takes a good 5 minutes of just hustling, holding on, climbing this thing, seeing flesh and mucus everywhere, but it begins to dry out and the walls become a little more hard. And eventually you see an opening at the top and a place for you to clamber on out as we change the map in roll 20. Have you guys found yourselves?
Yep.
Yes.
Wait, Bokbok's in here?
I forgot about him.
Bok is with
I
Hi,
didn't forget
Bok
about
Bok.
him in my prep, but I forgot about him. He was just hiding around, I guess. Never got eaten. As you make your way into this weird fleshy room, there are these sort of tooth and spires. The teeth kind of move, they open and close. And when you get near them, they sort of recoil, these large jagged teeth out of the flesh of the ground. They look around.
Boba Fett. Just kidding.
Yeah. Everyone see this lovely room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this place?
I'm gonna start walking the walls.
Froghemoth has a second mouth inside of its own body. 4.
I think I found something.
This could be.
Maybe it's an ear?
So there's a little flesh flap sort of closing, and you sort of found a little passage. There's a flesh flap, and you hear a little like as the wind sort of recedes it. You're not quite sure what it's for, but there it is. You can't fit your body through it. It's quite narrow, but you can see through it.
Where did you get this tile set? Ugh.
On Roll20 Marketplace. It was an insta buy. I looked at it, I was like purchased. Gonna be in the campaign at some point.
Oh yeah.
It's foul.
Well, I found an opening.
All right. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Sorry. My thing's not working today.
Your thing?
Yeah, whenever I try to move my character, the whole screen goes and throws
Oh.
me wild directions, so I got to use my arrow keys.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys see this flesh flap, and it seems to be like it sort of contracts and then open and close, but not open all the way.
In a nose?
Survival check?
Okay,
7.
you have no idea what this is or what
I
it's
have no
for.
idea.
Well, who's the smallest?
I think you are, Hope.
Or Stanley.
Stanley.
Tall,
Why?
Yeah, Stanley's tall.
but I am thin and lithe. I'm basically the opposite of me in real life.
Nash is basically me circa 2015 when I wasn't eating as much.
2015.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was
Oh, yeah.
very skinny in
3 years ago. Oh my god. You
Yeah,
really cured yourself.
it was 42 pounds ago.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, I
42 is good,
can
though.
try, but you might need to push me a little.
Well,
All right, hope we'll try and shimmy through the hole.
All right, let's make a well, I don't think you need to make a check, but as you move in, the flap sort of is wanting for air to pass through it, and the flap sort of slaps you really rapidly as
God.
it's
Someone
and you're
shove me through.
covered in bile,
Oh,
and then you can't really make your way through with it. It doesn't damage you with it, but it hits you, but you can't really make your way through. You'll need someone to hold it open for you.
oh, someone, please.
all right. And I'll
Grab
walk
the
in and
flap.
All right,
I'll
athletics
act
check.
with my body. Strength of 20, not natural.
Okay, that is sufficient for you to. Oh, sorry, I need to make a change here. Oh! It moved all of it. That's not good. Oh man, I moved all the dynamic lighting.
Oh no.
I think it will be okay. I think it'll be okay.
I don't
think
see
moved
it.
that much.
I only see my lighting.
Okay, so you can now see it a little bit better as you move the flap open somewhat. Let me get back to that layer. And move this a little bit so it just makes a little more sense. Okay. All right. Everything look normal now?
Yeah.
Okay. And the flap opens up a little bit as Pharrell has shoved it open somewhat, and you see that the passage continues.
Who's next?
So with it shoved open, can we all move through?
Yeah, you can walk through with it without getting slapped by the flesh flap.
Ew, what's this little sphincter over here?
There appears to be a hole in the ground, and it looks like very small and tiny. Probably something you don't want to get stuck in. Don't you?
She immediately jumps
No,
in it.
it was
My baby hand in
my
it.
mouse jumped. It wasn't supposed to.
It sort of appears to be contracting and opening, contracting and opening. You see across the way, there's a little flesh nub. You see that flesh nub over there, right here?
Mm-hmm.
This little hole opening, and it appears to be air appears to be going through it, and then the hole appears to be catching the air.
Oh.
You're gonna have to leap over it to get to the other side or risk falling in.
Oh. All right. I'm jumping. I'm getting out of here. All right, Hope's gonna jump it.
Okay, perfect. Acrobatics check, please.
7.
All right, so as you jump, you mistime it, and the air from the nub here just sort of blows you and slows you down, and then you fall on the area, and it's kind of like being on a trampoline, except if there was a big hole in the middle of the trampoline, and you start sort of falling backwards into it. You fall prone and start sliding in.
Okay.
No.
Are we still tied together from earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I will brace. Oh, I'm still holding on to the walls, so I will brace myself for weight.
Okay, perfect. So you're able to hold her in place, but the expansion and closure of the hole is causing her to slide in very slowly and pulling you along with it, so you can get her out of there.
Can I start clawing my way out?
Okay. Yeah. Acrobatics or athletics check, please, as you.
If
pull
we meet
yourself
up there.
out of it.
All right. 14.
With advantage then, if you're getting help.
Oh, 19 then.
Perfect. So too dangerous. With some effort, you're able to sort of crawl on your belly and just make your way out off the trampoline and across. Now, as you proceed down the hall, you see there are more pustules, these large glowing things all around you. They're not glowing, but they're brown and sort of bubbly. They look like like an acne. If you pierce it, it might burst. And you proceed a little further, and there are tons of passages with these different flesh nubs and holes in the ground.
All right,
All
who's
right.
next?
I'm gonna jump across the thing.
All right, roll.
It's 19. That's a 24.
Okay, so you're able to jump across. You time it perfectly so that it happens during a contraction, and there's no air blowing, and you make it across.
Okay, I'll go next. I guess I'm the only one left, right? Oh no, Pharrell's
No,
over
I'm the last line for the rope.
here. Okay. Athletics, right?
Athletics or acrobatics?
Oh! Nat 20.
Ooh.
All right, you jump over gracefully and easily with your fish cheeks flapping in the air.
My little
All right,
gills
I'll
go
follow it up.
Cool.
freaking water world, man.
14.
All right, and you yourself, you're also able to make it across safely without being blown. However, there's now air blowing on you and Nash from the flesh nub that you're sort of standing around. Not enough to push you in, but it's certainly strong enough, like a cool fan blowing on you.
What's that air like? Is it stinky?
No, it doesn't stink. It smells surprisingly clean, but it might just be the fact that you spent your time in a really smelly place and you're just happy to smell anything but.
Anything but butt?
Everything
yeah.
but.
But
All right, there does appear to be another sphincter hole as you continue on.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna immediately try and jump it.
Okay. Rolls.
Okay, looks like it'll be a 19 for this one.
All right, perfect. Now, there's one immediately in front of you again, and there's not enough room for everyone to land safely.
Okay.
So on either side, there are these trampoline-like looking things, flesh holes.
But I could
Alright.
shift over one in between the two, correct?
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay.
space there.
Cool.
all right.
Actually, you wouldn't have to jump that last one. There's technically space to diagonal it the whole way. Stanley, you're up.
Jump in it. Let's say 24 again.
Nice.
Same roll.
You make it over.
Okay, we're looking at 12.
Well, hold
All
on.
right,
We
you
need
go-
to do some shift moving here.
Well, before you're able to do that, he jumps anyways.
Shit.
And the air blows him as you mistime it, and it slows your jump, and you're just like, what? And then you fall down into the, and now you're sort of sliding into the sphincter hole, and it's opening, and you risk to suffer. You're risking being crushed, and whatever this hole goes to doesn't look like it's supposed to fit you when it contracts as opposed to begins
All right.
expanding.
If I can reach him, I'll try and help him up.
Okay.
And I'll hold the
Yep.
rope taut behind Stanley.
We'll double
All
rope
right,
it.
they hold the rope, and Stanley reaches out a hand to you, Nash. Do you take it?
Yes.
All right, you clasp wrists, Predator style. No, it's
Yep.
not Predator style.
No, Commando? No. Predator. Yeah.
Maybe.
There's Predator.
You're doing the Predator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they clasp hands, don't they?
Oh,
And
yeah,
This,
yeah.
this is more of a wrist-on-wrist deal. Like, as you clasp wrists.
Batman with Robin, right? Because it
yeah.
circus style
Yeah, exactly.
or Huzzah
So-
style.
I'll need you to make a strength roll, Stanley, because you'll need to pull him out.
Ugh. So much strength for Stanley today. It's a 6.
Okay, so you slide into.
Great.
Oh,
Next time I'm
man.
letting
Lose
Nash
your
fall.
footing, you begin sliding into the hole, and Nash slides further. You both begin sliding in.
That's fantastic. Together at last. Bro! Help!
Can Hope and I make a taut line to try to at least keep them above the hole?
To aid them in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
rolls.
you can, for sure.
All right, I'll start working the rope, towards me, not only tied around my waist, but getting it tight so they have at least some sort of surface to hold on to.
Well, I'll
Okay.
go fast.
Let's make a something engineering style. What would be a good check for that? Let's see.
I know it used to be called use rope. It was so useful.
Yeah, seriously. I guess we just make it athletics since you're just using your force of strength to do it. So
Okay.
we'll do that. I don't see.
16.
Okay.
A 12.
All right. So you guys both hold the rope as tautly as you can. It's a little light on Vorel's side, but you guys are safe from the contraction thus far as they hold the rope tightly. You're able to get up and walk using the rope to a safe area near it. I'm going to move for Nash. All right. You guys are safely to their side. All right.
Hope we'll start shimmying around the final one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keeping the rope tight with her and keeping
Nash,
within that
shimmy
distance.
before Varel jumps.
I'm shimmying.
All right, once the space clear from the shimmy, I will maintain the rope tightness and jump.
Perfect.
15.
All right. You make it across.
All right, and I will follow the shimmy as we head upwards.
All right, so you head to the right down a new fleshy passage, trying to figure out where the hell you are.
It's another
See
one of
another
those.
You see another flesh flap
Yep.
in front of you.
Going.
All right, I'll push myself to the lead and strength it open.
All right, strength check, please.
23.
All right, you force it open, bending it to your will, and it moves open.
All right, I'm going
Enough for everyone
through.
to pass through. Hold the flesh flap. And it sort of twitches in your hand as it wants to be back where it was.
All right, once everyone's through, I'll kind of roll with it and let it collapse behind me.
It attempts to collapse behind you, but you've left a permanent kink in it, causing it to just stay open, even though it's attempting to close.
Oh no. All right, well in here,
Before
Hope's
you in
gonna
this room.
immediately start shimming around that nasty acne pustule to the nearest exit she sees. That's a dead
Okay,
end.
I'll need people to make a sleight of hand check as they walk by that pustule.
Okay.
Time.
10.
18.
That would be a 9.
Okay. So your foot grazes it, Nash,
Great.
and it causes it to burst like a Cadbury egg. brown liquid starts oozing out onto it and all over your foot. I'm going to need you to make... One second while I find it here. I need you to make a... I didn't write what kind. Let's call it a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. That would be a 16.
Okay. So you're able to shake it off your foot, and while you don't think you should touch your foot anytime soon, you seem to be unaffected by it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
This pleases me.
So you continue moving along.
I will stay right
See
here
another
with Hope.
flesh nub. Now there are pustules around here, and you see the teeth kind of move and turn and face you, almost as if they can see you or sense you as you head to the next flesh flap, looking to move into the next room.
Hump just eyes these things tiredly and tries to squeeze through the next flap.
Okay. You attempt to make your way through, but the flap is like slaps itself against you as you put your body in between it and the wall.
Pharrell! Pharrell!
Hang on, I can't see back here.
You're on
All right,
flap
so-
duty.
You need to be careful because there's a broken pustule there now in front of you.
right.
And it looks virulent. It does not look... Your sense of these things, being a person of nature, is that this is some kind of natural defense mechanism, and it is unsafe to be touching.
All right, I would like to move carefully around it.
Okay. So it'll have to be an acrobatics check, as you have to step carefully where it isn't touching.
Nash, you left a mess. 5.
You step right in it with your first step. You think you aimed somewhere else, but you just put your foot right into it. I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
All right. 21.
Okay. You don't feel any ill effects now, but your foot is in danger.
This is gross. I would like to advance out of the hole, please.
Okay, so because your foot is in one of it, you can take a large giant, when you try and step over a puddle, you really shouldn't, one of those steps. You take one of those steps and make it across, but your foot is covered in pus.
Aww.
And it needs to be clean. You recognize that it needs to be cleaned because it's toxic, whatever you stepped in. You can feel it itching your foot.
I require a... And I look at Stanley's cape.
Prestidigitation before you ruin another cape.
Yes. Thank you, Stanley.
All right, you prestidigitate his foot, and it becomes clean.
Now, there was some sort of flap in addition.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll move to the side to let Varel in.
I'll
right,
head
make
to
your
the flap.
Make your roll.
Flap attack. 14.
All right, you able to push it just barely. This one's a lot stronger, resisting you, and you can feel it sort of flapping against you and shaking you, but you're able to open it large enough for people to get through.
Advance.
All right, Hope's going.
Is everyone going? Nash, need you to go.
I'm ready. Wait. Shit. I'm underneath there.
Nash is drunk and stumbling into walls.
Everyone's made it through.
Yeah.
Yep, and I will, once the last one's through, advance.
All right. So you see a blue light. I know it's not evident on the map, but you see a blue light as you enter this room coming from around the corner, and you hear it's like a sound of electricity. I don't know if I nailed it or not.
It's not bad.
It works.
I thought maybe it might have sounded like some sort of shaman saying something weird. So, but you see a blue light around the corner, and you hear the sounds of electricity.
Why is this even in a living thing? I slowly start walking forward.
Okay, you walk forward with your dark vision. You can make out most of the room without the use of Nash's light. You look around the corner and you see boom, 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 boom,
What?
boom, boom, and you see covering this thing is sort of this sphere of electricity, just coating the surface of what appears to be a gigantic heart beating in front of you. Boom, 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 boom.
Hope will just shake her head and keep walking forward. She's ready. She's
And as you as you keep moving, you look to the right and you see this goes up. there's another sort of fleshy sausage and a shaft going up that can be climbed up.
which way? Which way to get out of here?
We could kill the heart.
Why is there? Wait a minute. Can I do a survival check on the heart
Yeah.
thing? The thutter?
Yeah.
13.
Okay, you do a survival check on it, and it's a heart. Is there anything you wanted to know specifically?
Like it's the size. It makes no sense to me.
Well, it's a super giant froghemoth. He's grown to 50 times the size that he was.
Right.
Yeah, so his
So-
heart's pretty big.
So he's got multi-heart.
Oh, there's one heart here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the heart.
This looks like the heart.
Wait,
I mean, unless he
that-
has more than one.
You mean
we
this
don't
little
know,
doodle hanging here is the heart?
Heart.
and it's covered in an electric field, just like,
Uh-huh.
and you hear, bzz, 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 and the electricity you can see extends to the veins above, and at least seems to be leading above from the ceiling of this cavity inside of the beast.
All right. That would place us between the lungs. So we've recovered from the fall, but this creature makes no sense. So we can assume going up would get us closer to the brain. There shouldn't be much left in the creature after this.
Okay.
Nash wants
So
to
up?
throw. I want to throw a dirty old eyeball at the
Best
at the
guess.
field.
Hope's gonna start climbing up.
Well, hold on now. I want to throw this
Okay.
eyeball.
You
It
guys make
says
your way and
Nash.
begin climbing up. Is everyone? climb
No,
up?
Nash is throwing an eyeball at the electrical field.
Boom, 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 boom.
Cool. Since Hope's the other end of the tie, I'll take the. Oh wait, no. Stanley's the other end of the. Wait.
Everyone begins climbing up, and they make their way to this new room. And as you enter into this new fleshy room, I think everyone's getting frozen.
Yeah,
That's frozen.
I don't think
for
you guys
us.
can hear me.
I see you guys moving.
Uh-oh.
Here, hang on.
Oh.
I'll come back to it.
Oh, he's-
All right, you guys there?
Welcome
oh,
back.
there he's back.
No wonder you guys didn't hear me. I had great
right,
things to say.
excellent.
I was gonna.
Did
I
the
want to. I
recording
wanted
work?
to throw a freaking eyeball at the field of electricity to see if it did anything.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Well, you guys can climb back down. I mean, you've climbed back up
No.
to this room now.
No, it's fine.
And in this room, you notice there's another little air shaft blowing cool air. Little flesh nub. And on the other corner, there's sort of an eyeball. It's kind of just rolling around. And then when it sees you, it looks at you.
It would have no
Hope's-
light.
Hope's just gonna keep moving forward.
This eye could not see a
Keep
thing.
moving.
I agree, Varel. I don't know. We just keep going.
Froghemoth.
There's a little fresh. There's another little flesh sausage in front of you.
Varel, can you
Firing
please
away.
move this?
Hear me, Froghemoth. Your body makes no sense.
I don't think he can talk to you.
Well, we'll find a small mouth somewhere. We'll locate an ear. Then we'll find the mouth.
Sounds good.
All right, catching up.
We could burst through the eye hole.
But it's not a real eye. This is the hole of an eye in the middle of a tube.
You do have some sense that the being has been mutated by the pixie blush.
It's magically enhanced tomfoolery.
Yep.
Well, we just keep going, and maybe it. Let's just get out of this.
What are we backed up against here on the map?
There appears to be some kind of flesh flap. This more solid this time, barring the way, but light is pouring through from a room on the other side.
All right, more flaps. Out of the way.
All right. We'll go back up.
Flap. 25.
Okay, so this one, you try to move it, but this one's not budging. It appears to be a protective layer. Looks like attacking it and destroying it might be the only way to get through it. As you sort of try to put your fingers around it, it won't budge like the other flaps.
All right. Let's carve. Take up Maulstorm and start.
All right, you start carving. Make your attack rolls.
Attack rolls. Take this. Flap. A 19, so a 26 for the first
Okay.
guy,
Perfect. Roll your
and a
damage.
1 for the second one.
Okay. So you're able to cut down the first one. You carve a size big enough for everyone to pass through. But as you go to do the second one, the sword, you sort of bring it up behind your head awkwardly, and it falls down behind you, hits the ground, and lands. You think maybe on Stanley's toe. Stanley, dexterity check, please.
Oh, finally, this isn't a Nash involved goof. This is great.
That's going to be an 8.
Yep, it lands on his toe. Roll damage dice, Varel, for Stanley's foot.
As though it was swung. My goodness.
It fell from a great height. From a great height.
Alright, it'd be 8 damage, but not my strength modifier?
No, add your strength modifier. It's your weapon damage.
What? Oh, no. Okay. 14. No, wait, sorry.
This adventure
12.
today, man.
12 points of damage as you go to sort of swing it, but you don't swing it, and it violently whips from your hand and sort of ninja stars itself backwards. And just it lands on your foot in an awkward way and gashes your calf and foot.
An awkward way? How much damage was an awkward way?
12 points of damage.
Oh, okay. That's awkward. Stanley just goes, I don't know. And we proceed, I guess.
I apologize, Stanley. I offer healing from yourself.
I offer you your own healing spell.
Nope. I'm not even going to heal it.
I could cauterize it.
Nope.
Just-
You've done
no,
enough.
we've got
I'm
some
not even going to
flaps.
heal it. Let's just go.
Alright, I will advance the next flap and swing at it.
All
I
right,
love
attack
that
roll.
his one impacted me.
Yeah.
Hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, my friend.
Uh-huh. It's been a real bully of a day.
18.
I mean, you only took points of damage. Varel has to live with guilt. You hit it. How much damage do you do?
6. 10 points of damage.
All right, you slice that flap open and carve another hole, and you see that there's one more to make it through.
The final flap.
The flapping.
The final flap down.
18.
All right, damage dice.
13 points of damage.
All right, you cut this one asunder as well, and before you is a giant brain glowing blue. Pieces of electricity shooting off of its surface, going zoop, 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 zoop. And then you see these large tentacles sort of petting the brain and patting it. There's 4, 2 on either side. And then you notice the room is also, like, all along the sides of the wall and on the floor there are these eyeballs, and they blink, and they look around, they blink, and then as you enter the room, they all look at you. And the
Froggy
pat-
Myth.
Yeah.
I assumed he would continue.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were addressing it. Yeah, no, the large tentacles, these fleshy tentacles, are sort of patting the brain down and then like tamping it a little bit and then petting it. And it's got these it's like they're like brushes. There's bristles on the end of these flattened things, and they're just petting the brain. And the brain is just like the power of pixie dust just seems to be energizing this brain. It's full. It's glowing like in that meme, where the brain glows. It's just like glowing. You can almost see like maybe galaxies inside some of part of it as it becomes translucent. And the brain is just glowing and filled with electricity.
I think we're in Hypnotoad.
Yes. I look around for any ears.
You do not see any ears. or
Then
ear-like
see me,
orifices.
Froghemoth. We have arrived. Land yourself and remove us via brain hole.
The room shakes suddenly, as if the frog hemoth you're in was shaking its head. Everyone kind of lurches a little bit from the shake. You feel gravity sway you left and right.
Are we currently flying, Froghemoth?
Shaking again.
Oh, it's not an answer. It's just
Ribbit.
reacting.
Ribbit.
Ah. Well,
Oh, we could destroy the brain or destroy the heart.
we are in the
Either
air.
way. Are we still?
I assume it took off.
If we kill it now, it could drop and kill everything, including us. If you destroy the brain, it's just a big frog falling from who knows how far in the sky.
Do we have any ways of manipulating the brain's energies?
I shoot things.
I could
Yeah.
throw a wet eyeball at it.
Stanley.
What?
I'm sorry about you.
I was too distracted by the pain of a sword lightly
I-
falling upon my foot.
I apologize. I am very strong, even in my weakest moment.
You're so strong, Varel, you compel gravity to work in a way that is just beyond the fathoms.
This place has strange energies. We do not know its kind.
It's my fault, Varel. I should have told you. Elves have all their nerves and blood stored in one toe.
Oh,
It's an extremely vulnerable spot for elves.
good to know.
Yes, if you hit an elf in the toe, it will 1/3 kill them.
You
Stanley, I'll buy you 2 drinks when this is over. Can we get out of here?
could you use your powers of suggest the brain do things?
I don't know. What would we want it to do? We're in its head. What's it gonna do with its head?
Well, if you were to make it land, and then we could get out. No. You tell it to land, and then it lands, and we're sure it landed. We can then kill the brain, and then just crawl out a hole, or have Varel dig a new one.
I mean, we're in the head. What is our goal here? If we want to kill it, we can attack the brain. If we're looking to just get out, I don't know if any of you have ever tried to just pull something out of the inside of your head, but it's not easy. Of course, none of this makes sense. There's a bunch of eyeballs around in here. I don't know.
Well, then we look for other ways, and I'll take a step into the room. Oh, we're blocked via sausage.
Oh. Sorry, still have a dynamic lighting.
You've been
asset
sausage
there.
blocked. There you go.
There you go. You should be good to go.
Okay.
So we're getting close to time. Someone do something epic so I can cliffhanger.
Wait.
And that's when they decided to go back the way they came.
Hope will walk over to the closest eyeball, take out her dagger, and stab it.
Okay. You put your knife in it. It bursts. A goopy white liquid sort of fills your hand and sleeve. The room doesn't appear to react to it.
All right,
The
she
eyeball,
walks
the
over
eyeball
to
that you
the-
stab flits around, and you can still see it moving, even though it's been bursted.
Yeah, so Hope will just start walking around popping eyeballs.
She's in carving mode again. Stanley, please.
You begin popping eyeballs, and they begin squealing. But as you get to the second one, after you stab it, the room shakes around again. I need everyone to make a dexterity save.
Ooh, a 9.
Ooh.
13.
19 for Stanley.
Okay, so Nash, you fly into the brain.
Into
As the room gets jostled around, you lose your footing, and you just sort of stumble like whoa,
But like
just
bonk.
tap dancing on the ground, just go bonk, and you just land in the brain and the mushiness, and you're now kind of just, it's like a waterbed.
Okay.
You're just kind of sitting in it,
Kind of comfy.
and the electricity seems to move near you, and then it hits your body, but it doesn't electrocute you. It just sort of runs through you. You feel this weird feeling, sensation.
Okay.
It doesn't affect you or change your perception, but it also feels foreign to you.
Does it hurt? It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt you.
Okay. Can I do a...
And as you,
go ahead.
are you going to stay there? Or are you going to move off?
I'm going to get off of it. Don't think there was
Okay.
any value to me laying there, so I will hop off and kind of like
Wait.
when one of the hobbits dropped the skeleton down the little pipe and woke up everybody at the, what was it called, in the mountain. I'll just sort of look around sheepishly at everybody. Yeah, like sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Is it just like that?
I don't know.
The tentacles sort of appear to slow down a bit, and they appear to be like, they don't have eyes, but they appear to turn in your direction and sort of feel the air. Almost like it's they're smelling for something.
In all our directions.
Yeah,
Okay.
towards the entrance of this brain cavity.
Are you well, Nash?
I'm fine. It felt funny though. Like an odd feeling. It's hard to. I don't have a way to explain it. I don't know. It just felt. It feels like there's something at play here that I've never experienced. Something with that brain. We should be cautious. Cautious.
Brain. There was
So,
no greater will here than mine. Perhaps making contact will allow me to control the brain.
Touch it and see.
Well, then I look at Hope, who's carving eyeballs. Might as well.
We've popped one or two more.
All right, and I will walk proudly up to the brain, and with a hand out, I will say, Froghemoth, know me. And I touch it
okay.
firmly with my hand.
As you touch the brain, you feel the electric swirls move towards your hand, and then into your hand. And can I have everyone else have headphones off, please?
Oh boy.
You hear a voice, Kyle, in your head reverberate. What is it? What is it?
I form the words in my head as well as say them aloud. Froghemoth, we have found your brain.
It's silent for a second. It says, "What is it?" It repeats.
Great creature, know me, and land yourself upon the ground, for I, Vrel the Lizard King, am your master.
Ooh. Persuasion roll, please.
Persuasion. I'm going to use my inspiration. Okay. Persuasion of 12.
This one is master.
Yes,
What?
Froghemoth.
What is master?
A brave, nurturing hand that leads you to glories. One that would allow you a substance of highest glory.
All right, everyone can put their headphones back on now. So tell the party what they've heard you say as you touch the brain.
I touched the brain and said, Froghemoth, I am your master. There was silence for a bit and told it I would feed it greatness and glory.
You communicated with the brain.
Did it say anything back?
I have my eyes closed and I'm twitching a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's where we'll leave it.
Perfect.
Why it didn't talk to me, I'll never know. I sat right on it. Bastard
You didn't come
brain.
into skin contact with it, though.
That's true, I didn't.
Not really. Not in the way that Varel did.
No.
With intent.
It's very intent. Well done,
He sort of
everybody.
fell into it.
Good stuff, as always. Stanley came out a little rough from the accidental
Stanley
damage.
didn't have a very good episode, I think.
I think-
No.
I love it.
No, probably not.
Pretty much the whole 3 hours was like, oh shit, we're doing this. Oh god. Oh
I want you to
man.
know this dungeon was amazing.
Yeah.
By the way.
Sometimes you get to kill a Medusa, sometimes you just
I
tag
think
along and
this
take
episode.
incidental damage.
Speaking as a DM to the party, sometimes episodes are dedicated to particular players. This one
Yeah.
is. I mean, Varel. It was just dedicated to Nash. Everything I did with this, I'm like, oh, sweet, stomach acid. Nash, Scott will love this.
Yeah.
You got to turn into your amphibious form. For
Yeah,
the
I didn't
first
get to.
time.
I haven't
That's
been able
true.
to use that. I honestly didn't think it would ever happen in freaking
It's
stomach.
got Scott's
goo.
favorite things: orifices, snot, flesh,
Yeah.
boogers.
All my
Journey
favorites.
through the blank.
Flaps.
Yeah, a possible trip into the bowels of a giant creature.
Yeah.
Everything that Scott loves is just
Yeah.
So
And your
this
tile
is
set.
dedicated to you, Scott.
Your tile set is amazing for this. Like
Isn't it?
Mhm.
Like someone actually took the time to make this. It's called biological.
biological. Wow.
The biological tile set.
It reminds me of
Anyways.
something, but anyway, some old like battle or Baldur's Gate style something. Something's familiar about it. I can't put my finger on it, but anyway, actually the entirety of that Roll20 stuff looks like those old games. Anyway, well done everybody, and we'll be back at it next week with a whole new set of circumstances, and we'll pick up where we left off and find out what happens to our adventurers then. Don't forget, if you want to support the show, you can get our cool tees that we now have at Phoenix Pearl, phoenixpearltee.com/TWBD. If you don't see it there, you want to just go to the website, we have a link right on the site over there at therewillbedungeons.com, and everything else you need right there is there. I don't ever ask for this, but just do it. Follow us all on Twitter. You want to give Bo some DM love, you can find him on Twitter at Bo Schwartz. You can find John_Jagger. Find Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. Kristen Ashton is at _Kristen Ashton _. You sandwiched them there. I like that. It's like bread. And then I'm at Scott Johnson. And the show, of course, at There Be Dungeons. That's right, There Be Dungeons. It's going to do it for us, for me, and for the entire crew. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. Yeah. We did it.
Hey. Show's